what was the one thing that happened that made you think that that was the right choice for you? If there was one thing, because you just, there were steps.
Right.
So.
There were steps. Honestly, I still question it up to today, you know, like it's like now looking at Corona and how like my industry went from like 100 to 0. It's like there's still not moments when I'm like, should I be doing something else? I'm like, no, because I'm doing what I love, and even though this is a period of time where it's like hard for artists, it's like I can't, not that I can't imagine myself doing something else, but for me, like I just feel like I just know, you know, I just like you just sometimes you just know, you know, like this is the thing that you're happy doing, like you see yourself evolving and growing within this art that you choose, and that's just it, you know, like as long as it's making me happy and like fulfilling, and like I'm able to like contribute to other people in whatever way that is, you know, that I just feel like it's right.
And then we just with the arts, because in addition to the dancing, then we all, well, not we all have, but now you're sharing with the world that you also play the piano, so you also play instruments as well as, so you make music as well as dance to it. And then you also play music because you now have DJ Phoebe Bad, which is now taking over Samantha, it seems like. So you still are expanding while you're figuring out your dance life. You're not, is that one-track pony? You're now blossoming. You're exploring the different creatives that you have at your disposal.
Well, I'm finally putting it out. Putting it out because I've been playing piano for as long as I've probably been dancing.
And violin. So
and violin, right.
Just a musical child.
Right, you know, and those were things that like I was always very shy about putting out there. Like only my closest friends and family would, you know, come to my my piano recitals and stuff like that. Like I would never really put it out there because piano, like for me, like dance, when I dance, I feel like, you know, like that's the person that I want to be. You know, like I want to be that star, like that, like outgoing person. But then for me, piano, like when I compose my own music and I'm in that world, like that's me expressing who I actually am. You know, which is a very vulnerable place to be in. So for me, like I never really, not for any specific reason, but you know, I guess being vulnerable sometimes is a hard thing to do, you know, so you don't really want to put yourself out there. But when I look back on my videos and like my journey with piano, I'm like, girl, like you've been composing your own music, like you need to like actually put that out there. So now everybody's like, oh my god, you play piano? I'm like, yeah, I actually been, I just didn't put it out there until now, like sorry. You know, because I just didn't think that it was as important for people to see. But now I realize like I'm not just being bad at dancer, like I want to start showing all these other sides of myself to really show people like not like, oh my god, I'm talented in everything I do, like that's not the point, you know. It's really just like there's other sides to everything that you think that you know about the person.
Like I found out you're a science person and you like nature.
Right.
Which you would never get from the persona that you put out there, which I think is also a good thing to just throw in. It's a persona that you're putting out there.
It's my best self.
Exactly. Which is the point of social media.
Right.
And especially if you're a performer, if you're an entertainer, that's the part of you that you have to put out there because it helps you. And it helps your brand and it helps you to be where you want to be and make the cash, and hopefully helps you to get to the levels that you want to be so that you can be happy with what you're doing. So, and how the DJ? The DJing was there all the time too, or that's a recent thing?
No. The DJing is the most recent thing, and actually that's like another funny story too. Like, I hosted my first party in the middle of Corona. Sorry, everybody. That was when we had about like. And I hosted my first party. That was when we had about like 4 cases on the island, okay?
Oh.
So that was like in June, July, when things were like just starting to like pick up, and I think we were still, I think we just came out of quarantine probably, not quarantine, we just came out of lockdown, yeah. So I hosted my first party with a group of friends, and we basically decided that we wanted to create an environment where people don't feel judged, where people feel safe to explore themselves in whatever way that is. Because for us personally, I feel like in the clubs, wherever we are, like there's always like a feeling of like, maybe I shouldn't be doing too much because people are gonna look at me a certain way, and like people are not dancing, enjoying themselves, so maybe I shouldn't be extra because then people are gonna be looking at me. You know, all these things that we think about when we go out, right? So we wanted to create a party where it was invite only. We invited people who we knew would be comfortable to express themselves and come out and have fun and have like a no judgment zone, right? So we contacted DJ Kinkembe to DJ for this party, and he loved the idea so much, and the party was a huge success. And then after that, like we started to hang out more, like me and my group of friends with Kembe, and then like we just started spending more time, and he would always tell me like, yo, your energy is amazing, like I feel like you need to be more than just a dancer. And I was always just like, what does that mean, like more than just I am more than just a dancer. Like, so I never really understood like what he meant by that. But then one day he was like, do you want to learn how to DJ? Because like I keep saying it, like I just feel like you need to be doing so much more. So I was like, you know what, sure, like come over, bring your stuff, let's practice DJing. So the first night he taught me, he was like, oh, okay, so what do you think about it? I'm like, oh, it was cool, like you want to come back tomorrow? He's like, you want me to come back, like to continue teaching you? And I'm like, yeah, it was cool, like if I'm going to take this on. And at that time it wasn't like, oh, to add to my career, like let me become the best DJ or whatever. Like it was none of that. It was just like we had time on our hands, and for me it's like if I start learning something, like obviously it's not gonna take a day, you know, it's gonna take time. So I'm like, yeah, come back, like let's keep doing it. And then every single night he was there and we were practicing, and then he was like, wait, like you actually good. It's like, you actually good, like you mix it better than certain DJs that I know right now. And I'm like, really? Like I'm good? Like okay. And then so like he would like kind of leave me explore and do my own thing, and he was like, okay, but now she also knows like just what music goes after each other, like what flows right, like what's supposed to be played, what music is supposed to be played after each other. And he was just like, you know what, like we need to get you out there, like this is serious. So we gonna plan an event for you, and you're gonna have your first party. And I'm like, this is really happening, you know? So it was not planned. It was just, I keep saying it now, it was just something that was meant to be, because it wasn't like
you settled for it.
Here's like my next thing that's going to add to my career, like let me try to find another way to make money while Corona is like killing my industry, you know? Like it was just like something that I was doing for fun, and then I realized like I actually love it. Like once you put me on that mixer, like I don't want to stop, you know? So then I had my first event, and it was so nerve-wracking, but you know, I had all my friends out there to support me, and like people came out, like people reserved tables and all these things, like to see me, of course, because they wanted to know like, okay, maybe bad a dancer, but what's this DJ thing about?
We're gonna trip on her the next day.
Right, and then things just kept going. I had my second event, I got to DJ at Three Amigos for the first time, and then I had my third event, which was actually last Saturday, the Saturday that just passed, and it was like the biggest ever, you know, and biggest in the sense that like, yes, there was a lot of people, but also like the level at which I played, like how comfortable I was, like, and it was just like, you definitely gotta strive for this one, like, you know. And all these DJs now like supporting me and telling me like, yo, you mixing better than a lot of people who've been out there for like a long time. But for me, like, even before I was taking dance serious, like music was just always my love, like always my love. Like I remember like after school, after, you know, spending long days in school, I would come home and I would sit in front of the computer for hours and literally download and listen to music all day with my best friend. Like that's what we would do, you know. And like I always loved like so many different genres, so many different styles of music, because as a dancer I'm like, ooh, like that's cool, I like that beat, you know, like just non-biased to like whatever I would hear, you know. So to now see that love like come together in this way, it's been like, wow, like I kind of also been on that journey without even realizing it too, you know.
So it's all just
it all just kind of fall into place. Like when I realized, like, you know, because during lockdown it was a hard time. Like I'm like, I had so many plans for 2020, and here I am stuck in Simonton, like not knowing what my next steps are. But like I really had to tell myself like, really gotta just let go, because we don't know what's going on, you know.
How long you're going to be, you don't know when you're
exactly.
You know what a dance going to be afterwards.
Exactly. And so I think because I kind of just like say like, okay, whatever's going to be is going to be, like something, like I created that space for something new to like step into my life, you know. So now here I am, DJ Baby Bad, and I love it so much. Like I am so passionate about it, you know. And the dopest thing for me now is like I have new dreams to dream. You know, I have new things to think about, and it's like it's new, so it's like it's scary, it's nerve wracking. Like I get excited, I get like anxiety about it, and it's like, you know, when you've been doing something for so long, like I've been dancing my whole life, like you get to a point where it's just like, okay, like I know what I'm doing, I know I'm okay, like I'm a pretty good dancer, like I'm comfortable, you know. But and obviously even within dance, there's still so many different heights and levels that you could reach.
Yeah.
That's still nerve wracking, you know. But this is like the first thing in a long time that I'm like, whoa, like all these feelings, you know, and it's just been like super exciting, like going through those motions, you know, and now thinking like, oh, like what else can I do as a DJ? Like where can I travel? Like what's now that I have this new path, like what can I do with it, you know?
Yeah. Well, you could be a regional DJ, international DJ,
Right, like you just never know.
And another, and I was thinking about this while you were talking, now we have one extra female DJ on the island, because off the top of my head I can think of 3, maybe 4, that I know of, not to say that that's what there, but 3, maybe 4, off the top of my head that I could think of. So we gotta give the fellas one for the money.
I know, we do.
Because we can do them, and like they said, you DJing better than a lot of others out there, so
Yeah.
have to put them in the case of that.
And it's been dope too, because you know it kind of just showing me like, you know, other people are already like, oh my god, like you inspiring me, like I kind of want to learn how to DJ now too, you know, because maybe they never saw somebody like them, female, doing something like this, so it's just like, yeah, that's just for the guys.
Or maybe they think it's like what do you say? Not as feminine.
Right.
Because 2 out of 3 that I can think of are not feminine. They don't dress up and do the hair and the nails and
makeup
that.
and all that.
Which is okay, but then you think, oh well, then that's how you have to be to DJ with the fellas. You can't be nails and like to be put on makeup and all that type of stuff and still be taken serious as a DJ and changing the dynamic.
It's dope too, you know, because I have really had no expectations for it, you know, but now getting the feedback, like, she really just doing whatever she wants to do, like, maybe I could do whatever I want to do too, you know?
And be happy.
And be happy.
Make a living.
Yeah.
And be good.